presentation is going to be just about my BRI experience, and obviously this is a presentation done by me as my final presentation for my RED 4552, and this is the fall 2025 semester. So let's start with my student. So my student, he is a second grader. He's a very persistent and strong reader. You can see even just through observations and conversations that he's a very confident person, and he's a very confident reader. And even in his classroom, they have a culture set where if I'm reading and I mess up, I'm gonna keep going. So that's the kind of culture that they have in their classroom, and that you could tell it definitely affected him. Um, he definitely has adequate comprehension skills unless there is a topic that distracts him. And I only say this strictly due to my BRI assessment, where he got distracted because one of the short stories was about a birthday, and he recently had a birthday. Therefore, he messed up all the comprehension questions. And he also has trouble answering critical thinking questions as far as what do you think the author does? Why do you think the author does this? Or why do you think this person does this in the story? So that's why my tutoring lesson plans were primarily focused on retelling with relatable stories and critical thinking with evidence. That way, my student can come out of the lessons with more knowledge in those fields. So my first day, so for this day, we had a Jenga get to know you. So the teacher gave me a Jenga set, and I had this get to know you questionnaire. But my student is very much hands-on. Since he is in the second grade, he is very much hands-on. So every time we took a Jenga out, he just picked a random number, and we asked that question. Like I remember one of those is like, "What's your favorite show?" And he told me one of his favorite shows was, I think, The Loud House. So that was just our introduction to get to know each other, and I told him exactly what I'm here for, exactly my purpose here, and he was very much receptive and fully engaged and welcoming to me pulling him from class, especially because he doesn't really like reading class, and you can tell by our BRI assessment he didn't like reading, especially the Garfield aptitude test. He did not like reading as much, but you could definitely see a transformation from the first day to the last day because he was more willing to try things even where he struggled. Even though he's a great reader, in their classroom they like to try and try and try, but when it comes to answering questions, whenever he gets stumped, he gets very stumped and doesn't want to. He really shuts down. But the last day was really great. After our last tutoring session, we played a game that he insisted on saying. I'm not sure if that was in this questionnaire, but one of the games he asked me to play, I don't know, remember the name of it, but we played it just to part ways and say goodbye, whatever. And then this is our word list from I think the second or third time meeting. So highlights. My favorite part was going to the field, of course. I love any class where I have to go into the field and physically get to meet teachers and students, especially the student because he was really funny. And yeah, just speaking to future educators just make me feel good about the field that I'm going into. And the most challenging part would be lesson planning. I never really cared for lesson planning. It's never my strongest suit because it's so many different moving parts. I believe that the template was easy, but it makes it real hard to complete most times. But if I could start again from the beginning, I would start reading to understand a little earlier, and that goes for the textbooks, the assignments, the modules, everything, all the work modules that Professor Sparks gave us. And I would say also reach out to Professor Sparks ahead of time because she was very much helpful throughout the entire process. In every single meeting that I go to the schools, I would lay everything out that I need for each part. That way I'm not confused on what I have to submit, what I have to put in a doc, XYZ, and before I go into the field or before I complete an assignment. And I believe that's all I have to say. Thank y'all.